Imagine this. It's a regular day, and you're just going about your normal routine. Suddenly, everything changes. Panic spreads, store shelves are emptied in a matter of hours, and resources quickly become scarce. What would you do? Are you prepared for the chaos, not from some distant threat, but from those around you who weren't ready? Imagine your neighbors, friends, or even strangers eyeing your supplies with envy, desperate to get their hands on what you've carefully prepared. The secret to staying safe and calm might lie in something as simple as your grocery list. In today's video, we'll share 12 essential grocery items you should secure now, before an unexpected crisis strikes. These aren't your typical survival items. We've got a few hidden gems that most people overlook, but they could make all the difference when it truly counts. Be sure to stick with us until the end, because the last item on this list could be the one that saves your life when everything else runs out. Welcome to our channel, your go-to guide for staying prepared in an unpredictable world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on essential tips to keep you one step ahead. So, you might be wondering, what exactly do we mean by an envious invasion? It's not about armies and battles, but something just as disruptive. Picture this. A sudden event causes widespread chaos, whether it's a natural disaster, economic collapse, or a breakdown in supply chains. Stores are wiped clean, and those who didn't prepare are desperate. That's when people start noticing what you have, your stockpile, the food and supplies you've carefully put together. That's the moment an envious invasion begins. In times of crisis, even the friendliest of neighbors can become your competitors for survival. This kind of invasion doesn't involve weapons. It's driven by desperation. People who didn't think ahead now have their eyes set on what you've stored. And in tough times, things can get tense very quickly. But don't worry, being prepared is your best defense. And we're not just talking about having any old food on hand. You need the right items that will keep you nourished, secure, and under the radar. Let's dive into item number 1. Dried beans and lentils. Now, before we get to the more unusual items, let's start with a survival classic that's been trusted for centuries. Dried beans and lentils. They might not seem exciting, but they're a powerhouse when it comes to nutrition and long-term storage. Dried beans are one of the most efficient and cost-effective sources of protein available, while lentils cook faster than most beans and are loaded with fiber, helping you feel fuller for longer. Here's the best part. Unlike perishable foods like fresh meat, dried beans and lentils can last for years when stored correctly. All you need is a cool, dry place, and you'll have a dependable food source that can be stretched across countless meals. Plus, they're incredibly versatile. Whether you're making soups, stews, or combining them with rice, these humble staples can keep you sustained through any crisis. But this is just the start. Stick around as we reveal the hidden gems on this list, items that could truly make the difference between struggling and thriving during an unexpected emergency. Stay prepared, stay safe, and most importantly, stay ahead. Complete protein? Beans and lentils have got you covered. Even better, a little goes a long way. Just a small amount of dried beans can expand into a hearty meal once cooked, meaning you can feed more people or stretch your supplies much further. Not to mention, they're packed with essential vitamins and minerals like iron, folate, and potassium. In a survival situation, this dense nutrition could be the difference between barely scraping by and actually staying healthy. Item 2. Rice. Now, moving on from beans and lentils, let's talk about their perfect companion, rice. When people think about long-term food storage, rice is often one of the first things that comes to mind. And for good reason. It's a staple for more than half of the world's population, and in a survival situation, it's pure gold. White rice, in particular, can last up to 30 years if stored properly, making it one of the most reliable foods you can stockpile. Not only does it store well, but it's also easy to cook and pairs perfectly with almost anything. allowing you to stretch even the smallest of meals. When you combine rice with beans, you get a complete protein, which is critical when fresh meat or other sources of protein are hard to come by. But there's another reason why rice is a must-have that people often overlook. It's lightweight, affordable, and can be stored in bulk. You can stock up without breaking the bank, and it cooks with just water. In a pinch, you can even prepare it over a simple fire. No fancy equipment needed. While white rice is the best option for long-term storage, brown rice offers more fiber and nutrients, though it doesn't last as long. So, if you're thinking more about short to medium-term survival, it's worth considering both. Item 3. Canned meat and fish. Before we move on to some of the more unexpected items on our list, let's focus on one of the most practical sources of protein: canned meat and fish. In any crisis where fresh food is no longer an option, having a reliable source of protein is crucial, and canned meats are a perfect solution. Whether it's tuna, chicken, sardines, or even canned beef, these foods can last for years and keep you feeling full and energized when other sources run out. What makes canned meat and fish so valuable in a crisis isn't just their long shelf life. It's also their portability and versatility. They don't require refrigeration and are already cooked, so you can eat them straight from the can if necessary. Whether you add them to rice, pasta, or just eat them as they are, these canned goods offer a reliable source of protein that's ready to go when you need it most. And let's not forget about the added benefits. Canned fish like tuna or sardines also provide essential omega-3 fatty acids, which are key for brain health and reducing inflammation. These nutrients are especially hard to come by in stressful situations, making canned fish a powerhouse in your emergency food kit. Having these staple items on hand can keep you nourished, healthy, and ready to face any crisis with confidence. Stay tuned as we reveal more unexpected yet essential items to complete your emergency pantry. Item 4. Nut butters. Peanut, almond, etc. Before we dive into some of the more overlooked essentials, let's focus on something simple yet incredibly powerful: nut butters. Whether it's peanut butter, almond butter, or even sunflower seed butter, these spreads may be small in size, but they pack a massive punch when it comes to nutrition. Loaded with healthy fats, protein, and calories, nut butters are essential energy sources in tough times. When you need a quick burst of nutrition, nut butters offer an instant solution. One of the best things about nut butters? They don't require refrigeration and have a long shelf life, making them ideal for your emergency stockpile. A single spoonful can provide a solid energy boost, exactly what you need when food options are limited, and each meal has to count. They're also incredibly versatile. You can spread them on crackers, mix them into oats, or just eat them straight from the jar when you're short on time. Nut butters are more than just calorie-dense foods. They're also rich in vitamins and minerals like magnesium, which helps manage stress and supports muscle function. During a crisis, when stress levels rise and the future feels uncertain, these small nutritional boosts can be the difference between feeling drained and staying strong. Item 5. Instant oatmeal or grains. Now, before we get into some of the more creative survival items, let's talk about one that's simple, reliable, and often underestimated: instant oatmeal, or grains like quinoa or couscous. These aren't just breakfast foods. In a crisis, they can become your go-to source of nourishment. Oats, quinoa, and couscous are all lightweight, quick to prepare, and filling. Plus, they require very little, just boiling water, to cook, which is crucial when you're conserving resources. Instant oatmeal, in particular, is a lifesaver. It cooks in just minutes and provides a steady source of carbohydrates, keeping your energy levels stable. And don't think you'll be stuck eating bland meals. Add a little honey, dried fruit, or even a spoonful of nut butter to turn a simple bowl of oats into a calorie-dense, satisfying meal. Grains like quinoa are nutrient powerhouses, offering both protein and fiber, making them versatile enough to be used in various meals. You can mix them with canned foods, beans, or even a bit of canned meat to create a hearty, balanced dish. These grains are excellent for stretching out your supplies, making them a key element in any emergency pantry. The convenience of quick cooking grains cannot be overstated. When every minute counts and you need fuel fast, these foods will have your back. Item 6. Powdered milk or plant-based milk. Alternatives. Before we dive into some more surprising items, let's pause to consider an often overlooked but essential item: powdered milk or plant-based milk alternatives. In an emergency, fresh dairy might be hard to come by, but having powdered milk ensures that you don't miss out on critical nutrients like calcium and vitamin D. Powdered milk is lightweight, stores easily, and can last for years when kept in a cool, dry place. You can mix it with water to create a dairy substitute for cooking, baking, or just drinking. If you prefer non-dairy options, there are plant-based powdered milk alternatives like soy or almond milk, which offer a great shelf-stable option. This simple addition to your stockpile ensures that you'll still have access to important nutrients, even when fresh options are no longer available. Whether you're using it to enrich your morning oatmeal, add to coffee, or include in other recipes, powdered milk can help keep you nourished when times get tough. Item 7. Honey. Before we move on to more practical items, let's take a moment to appreciate a survival powerhouse that's been valued for thousands of years: honey. While it may seem like a simple sweetener, honey is much more than just a treat. It's one of the few foods that never spoils. In fact, archaeologists have discovered honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that's still perfectly edible after 3,000 years. This alone shows why honey is an incredibly valuable asset in any emergency stockpile. From a nutritional standpoint, honey is packed with natural sugars, providing a quick and sustainable energy boost when you need it the most. In a survival situation, having something that can instantly revitalize you is crucial. Whether you're on the move or trying to conserve energy, just a spoonful of honey can give you that much-needed push to keep going. But honey isn't just about energy. It's also rich in antioxidants and has antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties, making it a useful tool in your survival kit. You can use honey to soothe a sore throat, heal minor wounds or burns, and even prevent infections. Honey has been a go-to remedy in traditional medicine for centuries, valued for its natural healing powers. Beyond its health benefits, honey is a versatile ingredient. You can mix it into your instant oatmeal, drizzle it over dried fruits, or add it to your tea for extra flavor and sweetness. In a situation where you're eating the same basic meals repeatedly, a little variety like this can significantly boost your morale. One thing to keep in mind is proper storage. While honey doesn't spoil, it can crystallize over time. If this happens, don't worry. Simply place the jar in warm water, and it will return to its liquid state. Store honey in a cool, dry place, and it will remain usable for years, even decades. If you're planning to use honey for wound treatment, make sure it's raw and unfiltered, as this type retains the most medicinal properties. Honey is not just a luxury item in your emergency kit. It's a lifesaver with countless practical uses in a survival scenario. Honey, especially raw and unprocessed, retains more of its healing properties than processed versions. Not only is it a natural sweetener, but it can also act as a natural preservative. If you have perishable fruits or meats, covering them in honey can extend their shelf life, much like the ancient methods of food preservation. Item 8. Salt and spices. Before we move into more functional items, let's take a moment to talk about something often overlooked in survival discussions: salt and spices. At first glance, these may not seem crucial, but in a long-term crisis, having seasonings on hand could mean the difference between simply eating to survive and actually enjoying your meals. Salt is essential not just for flavor, but for its role as a crucial preservative, especially when refrigeration is no longer an option. Historically, salting food has been one of the oldest and most reliable methods of food preservation. Meat, fish, and even vegetables can be preserved with salt, allowing you to stretch your food supply for weeks or months. Additionally, salt plays an important role in maintaining your body's balance. Sodium helps regulate fluids, supports nerve and muscle function, and becomes especially critical during times of dehydration or heavy exertion in survival scenarios. However, salt alone won't be enough to keep your meals interesting. That's where spices come into play. Imagine eating the same staples like rice or beans every day. Just a sprinkle of pepper, garlic powder, or chili flakes can make a world of difference in flavor. Spices take up little space and have long shelf lives, yet their impact on meal quality is enormous. Many spices also carry their own health benefits. For example, turmeric and ginger have strong anti-inflammatory properties. Black pepper aids in digestion, and cinnamon can help regulate blood sugar levels. In stressful times with limited resources, these small health boosts become incredibly valuable. When stocking up, consider sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, as they contain trace minerals beneficial to health compared to regular table salt. Store your spices in airtight containers and in a cool, dark place to preserve their potency for as long as possible. In the event of a barter economy during a crisis, salt and spices can become valuable trading items as they're small, lightweight, and universally useful. Item 9. Continued shelf-stable oils, olive, coconut, etc. Oils, such as olive oil and coconut oil, are among the most concentrated sources of calories and essential fats your body needs to maintain energy and stay healthy. When discussing survival foods, people often focus on carbs and proteins, but fats are just as crucial. Without enough fat in your diet, your body may struggle to absorb vital vitamins like A, D, E, and K. This means oils can help you maximize the nutritional benefits of other foods in your stockpile. Additionally, fats help you feel fuller for longer, which becomes incredibly important when you're rationing meals. Olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats, which support heart health and can be used in various ways, from cooking to dressing or as a dip for bread or crackers. Coconut oil, on the other hand, has a longer shelf life due to its higher saturated fat content. Beyond cooking, coconut oil can be used for skincare, making it a multi-purpose item that's perfect for emergencies. One of the best aspects of shelf-stable oils is their ability to enhance simple, bland meals, turning them into something flavorful and satisfying. A little oil can go a long way in improving the texture and taste of beans, grains, or even preserved vegetables. Store oils in a cool, dark place, away from heat and light, to extend their shelf life. Dark glass bottles are ideal for olive oil to prevent oxidation. And while coconut oil solidifies at cooler temperatures, it remains usable. Just warm it slightly to return it to liquid form. In a pinch, oil can also serve as a fire starter, providing another valuable survival function. Item 10. Vinegar. Next, let's discuss an incredibly versatile item, vinegar. Whether it's white vinegar, apple cider vinegar, or red wine vinegar, this simple liquid should be a staple in your stockpile for various reasons. Vinegar is a natural preservative and has been used for centuries to pickle and store vegetables, ensuring you have access to fresh-tasting food even when supplies are low. Simply submerge vegetables in vinegar, and you can extend their shelf life for months. This means you can take advantage of fresh produce when available and keep a backup when food supplies dwindle. Beyond food preservation, vinegar has countless other uses in survival situations. It serves as a natural disinfectant, perfect for cleaning surfaces, purifying water, or even disinfecting minor cuts and wounds. Apple cider vinegar in particular boasts numerous health benefits, such as aiding digestion, regulating blood sugar, and boosting the immune system. When it comes to cooking, vinegar can tenderize tougher cuts of meat, enhance flavors in soups and stews, and add brightness to canned vegetables or beans. A small amount of vinegar can go a long way in making repetitive meals more enjoyable. Additionally, vinegar can be used as a cleaning solution for cooking equipment or food storage containers, helping you maintain hygiene even in less than ideal conditions. Apple cider vinegar with the mother contains probiotics that help maintain gut health, especially important in stressful situations. Vinegar can even be used to trap fruit flies and other pests, protecting your food supply from contamination. Item 11. Continued. Dried fruits. Raisins, apricots, apples, etc. Dried fruits, like raisins, apricots, and apples, are packed with essential vitamins and minerals, such as potassium and iron, which are crucial for keeping your body functioning well, especially under stress. Dried fruits are incredibly calorie-dense, providing a natural source of sugar that gives you quick energy when you need it the most. Whether you're on the move or conserving energy, having small, portable snacks like dried fruits can be a game changer. They are lightweight, easy to store, and have a long shelf life, making them a perfect addition to your emergency kit. Additionally, don't underestimate the psychological benefits of having something sweet during stressful situations. Even a small treat like dried fruit can provide a morale boost, helping you stay motivated. You can mix them with nuts for a DIY trail mix, or add them to oatmeal or baked goods for a nutrient-packed meal. To ensure long-term storage, store dried fruits in airtight containers to protect them from moisture and pests. Vacuum-sealed bags work great for preserving freshness over time. For added versatility, soak dried fruits in water to rehydrate them for use in cooking, making them more adaptable in meals like stews or desserts. You can also combine dried fruits with nuts or seeds to create a high-energy snack that can keep you going through physically demanding tasks. Item 12. Coffee or tea. Finally, we come to an item that might seem like a luxury, but in a crisis, it can become essential: coffee or tea. In times of high stress, these simple beverages can offer more than just a caffeine boost. They can provide a sense of normalcy and comfort when everything else feels out of control. Coffee in particular can help you stay alert and focused, which is crucial when you're making decisions in an emergency situation. Every choice matters in survival, and coffee can give you that extra mental edge. Let's not forget the psychological benefits either. Having a warm cup of coffee or tea can lift your spirits, calm your nerves, and give you a moment of peace to start the day. Both coffee and tea have long shelf lives when stored properly, and require very little to prepare, just hot water. In a pinch, you don't even need fancy equipment. You can use a simple filter or steep tea leaves directly in boiling water. Herbal teas, such as chamomile or peppermint, can also be highly beneficial for calming anxiety, promoting sleep, or soothing an upset stomach. Additionally, coffee and tea could become valuable barter items if supplies become scarce. Something as simple as a cup of coffee might be worth more than you think when others are desperate for comfort. Store coffee beans or ground coffee in an airtight container in a cool, dark place to keep it fresh for as long as possible. If you don't have access to boiling water, cold brew coffee can be made by steeping grounds in cold water overnight. Herbal teas, such as green tea, also provide antioxidants, which can help keep your immune system strong during stressful situations. Now that you know the 12 essential grocery items to stock up on, let's talk about how to store and prepare them properly to ensure they last when you need them most. It's not just about having the right food, it's about making sure it stays fresh, usable, and ready for action. For dried goods like rice, beans, lentils, and oats, you'll want to store them in airtight containers. Moisture and pests are your biggest enemies here, so consider using vacuum-sealed bags, food-grade buckets with oxygen absorbers, or even mason jars to extend their shelf life significantly. Keep these items in a cool, dark place, such as a pantry or basement, to avoid heat and humidity, which can cause rapid spoilage. Preventing spoilage and storing canned goods. Canned goods such as meats, fish, and nut butters should be stored at room temperature in a dry area. To maximize freshness, rotate your stock by using the oldest cans first and placing the newer ones at the back of the shelf. Although it's important to check expiration dates, many canned goods remain safe to eat long after those dates, especially when stored properly. So don't throw out cans just because they've passed their best buy date. Just ensure they're stored in ideal conditions. Honey, vinegar, and oils each have special storage requirements. Honey, for example, can crystallize over time, but simply warming it will return it to its liquid form. Oils, especially olive oil and coconut oil, should be kept in dark, airtight bottles away from sunlight to prevent them from going rancid. Vinegar is incredibly easy to store due to its long shelf life. Just leave it in its original container in a cool, dry place. For dried fruits and nuts, use airtight bags or containers to prevent them from going stale or attracting pests. Vacuum sealing works great for these items, and freezing them can further extend their shelf life. Preparing simple, nutritious meals. When it comes to preparing meals with your stockpile, simplicity is key. One-pot meals are efficient and easy. For example, beans and rice make a complete protein and can be cooked with just a little water. You can use your canned meats or fish to add protein to grains or pasta. And don't forget to add spices and oils to make your meals flavorful. Just because you're in survival mode doesn't mean your food has to be bland. Wrapping up, thrive, don't just survive. And there you have it, the 12 essential grocery items that can make all the difference in an unexpected crisis or disaster. From the long-lasting energy of honey to the versatility of canned goods and the comfort of coffee or tea, these items aren't just survival basics. They are tools that can help you thrive when the world around you is in chaos. By preparing now and choosing the right foods, you're giving yourself a massive advantage, not just in terms of staying nourished, but in maintaining your strength, focus, and peace of mind when times get tough. Remember, the key to survival is being ready before the crisis hits. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more tips on staying prepared and protecting yourself in uncertain times.